around with the mop that's a stick. 33 shots in the Glock that's a dick. 50 round drum, call that bit 50 cent. 100 round drum on the Drake, it's a hit. Shit ain't no question, you play, you get hit. Pull up and let the bitch spray to that shit. Then I go pray, ask the savior for strength. I'm in creator, the savior, I'm him. Shout out the gates, we break winners like him. I told my son I'ma get us a M. I'ma keep grinding, I do it for them. No DJ Khaled, but I'm trying to win. Stand on that business, yeah, I get it in. They second line behind you and your kin. Riding that farmer, you know that it's tenant. I got 100, my broke out the vision. Born in the slums, I was raised in the trenches. It be your nigga turn state as a witness.
Slum 1200 GGI mob shit, and I'm back. On this episode of Certified Steppers, we're going to be talking about Alan Hruby. So, Alan Hruby will be a 20-year-old Oklahoma University student, born and raised in Oklahoma. And he would be accused of killing his parents and his sister in October of 2014.
There was just a lot of disbelief. There were tears shed.
The shock is still setting in for writers at the Marlowe Review. They know they'll never see their boss or his wife and daughter again.
It was just a vicious rumor, and that that he was going to come walking through the door at any minute now. That was our hope.
John Hruby was the Marlowe Review's publisher. His wife Tinker had recently been helping out with the lifestyle and court section, and their daughter Catherine, a high school volleyball player, helped deliver the papers. They were very involved in their community. They loved their animals. They loved each other, and it was just very evident of that. Police were called to the family home just before 9 a.m. Investigators spent the entire day processing what they call a large scene. Our cameras were there as they marked this black Jeep for evidence and towed it away. Police Chief Daniel Ford says nobody is in custody, and the hunt for suspects has not yet begun.
Certainly we'll take any tip we can get, and once we have all the evidence gathered, then we'll certainly start trying to put together the case and see where we're going.
There's also no word on how the family died or why this tragedy happened.
We're trying our best to go on. We're going to publish a newspaper this week, and and we have a feeling that that's what John wants to do, is to keep going on, and that's what we're going to do.
So he would be accused of killing, unalive his parents because they cut him off financially, because he had then got addicted to a lot of high-end and high-fashion clothes, a lot of expensive watches and things like that.
And now Duncan police believe they found the gun used to kill John and Tinker Hruby and their daughter Catherine. Alan Hruby, their son, remains locked up tonight for confessing to their murder.
The murder weapon belonged to Alan's father, John. Investigators say Alan Hruby stole it from John's car as it sat in the driveway, and then later returned, firing 5 shots, killing John, Tinker, and Catherine. But it's what Alan did next that investigators say he lied about. Alan confessed to dumping the gun and a home security DVR at a nearby lake, but investigators found nothing. So officers searched a family storage unit, and that's where the supposed murder weapon was found, as well as a security system DVR. Further investigating Hruby, investigators learned the 19-year-old had 6 fake IDs, and he liked to use fake names. A Duncan officer pulled Alan Hruby over just hours before the murders, and Alan identified himself as Dakota Moore, a name he also used in 2010. Another inconsistency in Alan's story, he told investigators he went to Marlowe the day before the murders to get a credit card from his mother. But his roommate told police that never happened. Alan's cell phone, transactions, and Pike Pass will get a closer look to pinpoint a timeline.
Alan Hruby is charged with murdering his mom, dad, and sister. KSCO's Ariana Garza spoke with those who often encountered the OU student.
At first, Alan Hruby's friends thought he'd been framed.
He was always the life of the party.
He was always cracking jokes, and I loved being around him.
But authorities say Alan killed his mother, father, and little sister Thursday night and didn't confess until he knew he'd been caught Tuesday.
He was kind of weird. He kind of kept to himself. We played ping pong and stuff, and people say he talked bad about his parents.
After the murders, Alan spent the following days at the OU Texas game.
And I was like, Mom, I had dinner with the murderer Sunday night. how, like, I can't describe, like, I looked into his eyes, I was cracking jokes with him, and the whole time he knew that he had killed three people.
Authorities say money motivated Allen.
It makes you mad almost that you respect a guy and you see him as a great friend, and then you hear what happened.
Friends say they never thought Allen's need for money would turn into a need for murder.
Hruby appeared in court for the first time since the killings. He is now facing 3 counts of first-degree murder.
So he would actually go on to kill his parents and his sister and still go on a trip with his friends and come back. So he stayed in the house a whole day with his parents and his sister unalived in the house. He would go on a trip with his friends, then come back to the house where he would actually see police and all that outside his apartment. So when he did, well, I guess the people reached out to him once they found his mother and his father and his sister unalived in the house.
The bodies of John, Tinker, and Catherine Hruby were found Monday morning. KOCO's Ariana Garza shows us how their lives and achievements were remembered this afternoon in a memorial service.
John, Tinker, and Catherine Hruby were the life of the community. Even in mourning, friends can't help but remember the joy the family brought to everyone's faces.
I was telling Tinker's dad, I said, you know, when I first met Tinker, she's just as cute as her name. And we're very sad about the whole situation.
Among their many accomplishments publishing local newspapers, John and Tinker also led Boy and Girl Scout troops. Cameras were not allowed into the memorial service, but an Eagle Scout broke down in tears as he talked about the family's strong moral character. Catherine was only a junior in high school.
She's supposed to be at prom with us, and she's supposed to graduate with us.
She was known for her enthusiasm on the volleyball team and her fun pranks. Her teammates only regret
not being able to tell her goodbye and that I loved her and stuff, because she was like everything to me. It's a heartbreak, but she was really excited about going to heaven, and she always talked about God, so I mean, I feel like that's her overall where she wanted to be, so I feel like she's happy.
The memorial focused on love, prayer, and faith in God. The family released a statement thanking the community for its tremendous outreach of love, thoughts, and prayers regarding this horrific family tragedy. The family has asked for memorial contributions to be made to organizations dear to the Hruby's hearts, most notably a scholarship fund in Catherine's name.
It's heartless. I mean, like anybody else, I couldn't imagine walking into somebody else's home and while they're gone and just going through the place and taking whatever you want.
Robert Smith says Hruby stole the checks from his grandmother, Mary, who is friends with Hruby's grandmother. He says it all happened after Mary bought Hruby a graduation present this summer, and Hruby dropped by her home to say thank you while she was out of town. That's when Smith says the accused killer helped himself, stealing and writing $17,000 worth of checks.
The kid was very blessed and could have had a bright future, but here he is without any parents, people closest to him. He's, taken away, and now he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail.
Hruby's grandmother is already a victim. He pleaded guilty earlier this year to opening a credit card account in her name and spending close to $5,000 on it during a free trip to Europe.
They called him to see where he was at to make sure he was all right, the rest of the family, but when they called him and he came to the scene, he showed no emotion. They said he didn't even cross the yellow tape. Like if somebody unalives your family, when you get to the scene, you're going to be hysterical. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be asking what happened, crying, breaking down, trying to run all under the tape to, get in the house to see your mom and your dad and your sister. But he done none of that. So the people brought him to the station, brought him in the interrogation room, interrogated him. And he went to crying, fake crocodile tears and this, that, and the third. And he just really showed no emotion. He didn't act like a person whose whole family had just been deleted.
You've got one chance to explain to me how this happened, what pushed you to that limit.
With his excuses finally exhausted, he utters 3 critical words police have been waiting for.
I did it. Tell me about it. Tell me how it went down. Who'd you shoot first?
My mom. My sister was home. She was outside washing her car. My dad was at work still. And she walked in, and as soon as she went in the kitchen, shot her.
How much longer before Dad came home?
An hour or so.
An hour you had to sit in there with your dead mom and your dead sister?
Or so.
Where did you shoot Dad?
In the head.
He went in through the back door, found his mother, shot her once. She fell to the ground. He then fired another shot.
His sister Catherine was next.
His sister was outside washing the car. She came into the house. He shot her once in the back.
Police say he then waited for his dad, John, to come home.
He fired a shot at his dad. His dad fell to the ground, and while he was on the ground, he shot him one more time.
District Attorney Jason Hicks says he'll talk to relatives, some of which were at the courthouse in tears today, before deciding on the death penalty.
I think this is a very, very heinous and atrocious crime. I think this shows the fact that there was no remorse. I think this shows that this kid is an evil person, and quite frankly, I think it's something that's going to have to seriously be considered.
Hicks says Hruby dumped his father's gun and home security videos at a lake after the murders, then spent the weekend in Dallas at the Ritz-Carlton for the OU Texas game. His parents had recently threatened to cut him off.
He explained that there was a loan shark company in Norman that he owed approximately $3,000 to, and he felt like if he murdered his mother, his father, and his sister, he would be the only heir to their estate.
Authorities say Hruby assaulted his mother over money 2 years ago. He pleaded guilty to credit card theft targeting his grandmother earlier this year.
So it will go on to him actually telling the people what he did and how he did it and why he actually did it. And it was just crazy that they have sick people out here, sick individuals out here that would do things like this. So I want to say his grandfather, his daddy's father actually owned the newspaper in the little town where he was from in Oklahoma. And I think the newspaper, when his grandfather passed or whatever, they sold a newspaper stand out. If I ain't mistaken, I think they either got rid of it or they had the newspaper actually started a trust fund for the family. But the family still, his father still owned the newspaper printing company, you feel me, or whatever. So they had $1 million trust fund for the kids that his grandfather had actually started for them, I guess for his son. So his son had to, still had it going on for his kids. So I guess they was able to draw money out of it. And the daughter, she wasn't as flashy as the son. She was more laid back and I guess wasn't really into a lot of the things that the son was into. But the son was into a lot of Gucci, Coach, Louis Vuitton, you know what I'm saying, Rolex watches. He was just into the finer things. And I guess it hadn't got so bad to where they cut him off financially to where he couldn't get into the trust fund. So him not being able to get into the trust fund, he got mad and took it up on himself to delete his mom, his dad, and his sister so that he would get the inheritance and actually continue to do what he was doing, which was shopping like crazy. So you actually unalived your parents and your sister because you couldn't go shopping and couldn't buy the things that you wanted to buy no more. So now you in jail with 3 consecutive life sentences where you can't wear no high-end shit. So tell me that wasn't real stupid. And he didn't think that through at all. So now you going to jail. You can't wear none of that. You can't wear no Rolexes. Only thing you got is just orange suit. All these blue jeans and this powder blue shirt you wearing in DOC. Your mom, your dad did. Your sister did. Your family didn't cut you off completely. Nobody ain't josing you. So you just in there now. It's like you dead too.
This is 20-year-old Alan Hruby entering the Stevens County Courthouse just moments before he pled guilty to killing his dad, John, his mom, Tinker, and his 17-year-old sister, Catherine, back in 2014. Hruby's trial was set for next month and he was facing the death penalty. But according to the DA, the family wanted something different.
They approached me last week and told me that they did not want to go to trial, that they did not want the stress of this trial.
As a result, today Hruby was allowed to plead guilty and take 3 life sentences without parole instead of the death penalty. During today's hearing, Hruby was given the chance to speak to the family, but not one apology was heard.
You take the life of 3 people and you don't have the decency to at least apologize for it. I think it reflects on who he is.
Tinker Hruby's father, Richard Stein, gave an impact statement saying in part, quote, "This is a tragedy for my whole family. God have mercy on your soul."
I think that he knew he came from a good family and he would use that definitely to his advantage.
Childhood friends with accused killer Alan Hruby describe a 19-year-old who loved the lavish lifestyle. The OU student told police he killed his father John, mother Tinker, and sister Catherine before spending a weekend in Dallas. The family found by their housekeeper in their kitchen. The victims, publishers of the Marlowe Review in Stevens County. Interviews conducted by the student-run news organization OU Nightly paint the accused murderer as someone who is constantly in trouble. Court documents back that up.
Like, after I heard about the credit card stuff, you know, I expected that. Like, I'm like, oh, that's something that I could see him getting in trouble for. But doing what he did, I was shocked. I did not think that he would have been able to do that.
As people from Duncan recall their interactions with the accused killer, they're also remembering the victims. They say mother and daughter shared the same bright smile.
She was quite the woman, and she'd listen to you, you know, and had the neatest smile in the whole world.
She was just a great kid. No problems ever from her. She would walk in a room and she would just light it up. She had the most beautiful smile. Nobody could say anything bad about her. She was just a great girl. Tinker, I was pretty close with as well. She was a really encouraging person as well. Great for bouncing ideas off of.
Dave Detling, KOCO 5 News.
So they really be having some sick people out here. I just be running across a lot of stories and be just thinking to myself, how could this even come into your mind? How could you even think about doing something like that to your family? Then you already had them probably spent a good $300,000, $400,000 of that. That's probably why they cut you off, because they saw it was just getting too bad. You was gonna have the trust fund empty. Your sister wouldn't even have no money up in there. Tell me that ain't crazy, man. But y'all get in that comment section, man. Hit that like button. Make sure the notifications turned on. Hit that subscribe button and stay plugged. Slum 1200, GGI mob shit.
Get rich, I'ma die trying to make it to the top. Shit, and anybody in the way, I'm putting them in a box. Yeah, it's gotta get it, I'ma stack it till it rocks. Yeah, it's gotta get it, I'ma stack it till I drop. Shit, I with him still, it called the winter selling rocks. Now I pull up on a nigga with the 30, let it pop. Hit him with the bitch until the motherfucker stop. Then it's right back on the block, screaming death to all.